Hello and welcome to Heads Will Roll Reforged. If you'd like to take a look at the game, there is a link in the description. It's currently on sale. I actually don't know how long it is on sale left over for, but you know, I picked it up because I thought this looks like a really fun and, well, actually very punishing game that will probably kill me in the first 5 minutes. But let's start a new game and actually see what's going on here. Alright, so let's, I don't know, I'll just call myself this. Did I just literally type a space? Yes, I did. That is hilarious. Can you imagine? Anyway, here we go. Please note, Heads Will Roll has a complex combat system that might take some time to understand and master. Thus, if it is your first time playing, we strongly suggest choosing an easier difficulty. Hard and Heads Will Roll modes will present a real challenge, aimed at experienced players only. And now I've seen many people in the reviews saying that this is very hard, alright? And I'm not even talking about the hard difficulties here, I'm just generally talking about it being very difficult in general. And I'm not entirely sure what to actually play on right here, because I'm thinking right now we're probably going to play on normal. I think so at least. We'll probably play on... Can I even play on normal? Yes, I can play on normal. Okay, so that's pretty good. Create random, or... I have to create a random character, apparently? I have to create a random character? Okay, that's actually interesting. Okay, so as you can see, profile does not level up. Profile does not level up. Each death levels up your profile. So if you play on... Okay, so basically... Oh, wow, look at that. So if you play on Heads Will Roll difficulty, this is the roguelike mode. This is a less difficult mode that will offer a decent challenge for a first-time player. Okay, so I think it's probably a cool idea if we make a series out of this. I don't know whether it's going to be a series yet, by the way, but if you'd like to see a series, then by all means let me know. But for right now, I feel like learning some of the things that are included in the game would probably be a really good idea. So I guess we'll play on normal for now, but I really do want to play on Heads Will Roll difficulty. I feel like this is going to be an extremely enjoyable, but shall we say very punishing experience. So we're gonna see how this goes. Yeah, we're gonna play on normal, and we'll see how it rolls here. Haha, see how it rolls. Yes, so we're just gonna roll random. I mean, I don't think I can actually choose my my abilities or anything right now. So we're just gonna roll random here. Okay, so we've got some strength, agility. We're starting with these items. We've got a wooden club. We got these other things here. Strength required 1. Agility required 1. It does 4 damage. Okay, yeah, sure. Why not? Let's do it. A breakout of yet another war between England and France was barely a surprise to anyone. The rivalry between the two kingdoms has lasted for more than a century, and small but regular armed conflicts have become commonplace for them. This war seemed to many to be an ordinary event, but the English king had other plans. Alright, so obviously this is a very narrative focus, so if you are not a big fan of story or, you know, a lot of text, then maybe you want to skip ahead a little bit until the first combat encounter if you prefer that. Anyway, this time he had no interest in lesser goals and aimed as high as to ascend to the throne of France itself, using its ongoing dynasty crisis as a casus belli. War preparations stated by Edward III have surpassed any of his past military campaigns. Understanding the scope of his ambitions, the King of England did not delude himself. The war that he was about to embark on was going to be the greatest in history, and for an undertaking like that, a proper army was in order. The king began gathering forces long before declaring the war. Long negotiations and uncounted secret agreements bolstered the royal army with numerous allies, as well as mercenaries from all over Europe. The core of his forces, as it has always been, was constituted by the best of England's chivalry, eagerly awaiting their chance to finally outshine the French chevaliers and claim the laurels of the best in the world. For the honorable knights, this coming war was also an opportunity to amass wealth off its spoils and bask in the glory of victorious battle. You too ended up among the ranks of the king's countless soldiers, but unlike the knights and mercenaries eagerly enlisting out of their own will, you, a peasant's son, did not have much of a choice, as beside professional warriors, the army also required those to do its dirty work, both in the meaning of digging ditches and being able to give up their lives, for dirt cheap. By royal decree, a militia force was drafted from the free folk. Many wealthier people were able to bribe their way out of service. But you, coming from a poor family, had no such opportunity, and thus you received a royal gift for your 18th birthday, an unexpected journey to the shores of France. Weapon in hand, you suddenly find yourself treading on unfriendly soil. You wonder whether you will ever see your home again. Alright, and this is the prologue. A journey begins. Welcome to Heads Will Roll Reforged. Soon you will embark on your first adventure, but before you do, we have to warn you, not all risks are worth taking, and not all fights are worth fighting. Blindly charging forward without considering the circumstances and consequences is the fastest way to get yourself killed. And bear in mind, as I've said before, this is a very difficult game. So, you know, being aware of these things is going to make a big difference. Heads Will Roll will try to present the player with a lot of difficult choices, but your answers will never be right or wrong. There is always something to lose and something to gain, no matter the choice. A good strategy for success is to approach the adventures with the intent to simply survive rather than become a hero. Don't go on dangerous endeavors if you're not confident in your success, as you may be severely punished for unpreparedness. In other words, play it realistically. And that's the point. You really do have to play it realistically from the look of this text here. And by the way, this is the first time I'm actually playing the game. So, I always like playing these kinds of roguelike, story-based experiences fresh and not having any experience in them beforehand, because I feel like that kind of ruins the whole thing, because if I know how to play it and I know how to succeed, then it's not that exciting. Anyway, let's see. Some quests will fail, some characters you meet will grow to hate or despise you, and sometimes you'll have to flee from a battle in order to save your life. Don't let these things bother you too much, as your real goal is to make it to the very end in one piece. And then last but not least, remember to keep track of time. Training, shopping, adventuring, and completing quests will all consume it. Neglect one too much in favor of the others, and you're in for unpleasant surprises. You've received a salary in accordance with your rank, 65 florins, and you've received a bonus payment in accordance with your prestige level, 0. Yes, indeed. Okay, so the time until the next story event is illustrated by this green bar up here by the looks of things. And I think the best thing for me to do right now is probably to train. I have not looked up anything, by the way. I am completely blind when it comes to this game. I haven't looked up any guides. I haven't looked up any tips or tricks or anything like that. So I'm doing this completely off my own bat and thinking, okay, what's the best thing for a new soldier to do in a completely new land? Well, I'm pretty sure training is the way to go, right? Through training, you can improve the various skills and attributes of your character. Keep in mind that training both consumes time and rapidly builds up fatigue. If you do not want to start the battle in a disadvantageous position, then do not forget to properly rest. Alright, so yeah, let's do it. Okay, so training with a coach, sparring, solo practice. Okay, so as you can see, we have a skill limit here. What's my skill right now? My skill is 10. Actually, wait, my skill is 4. And we barely have, so we barely have basically anything. We can train in crossbows. So the skill, okay, wait a minute. So the skill limit is 10, which means that I can do solo practice up to skill 10, and I can do sparring up to skill 20. Okay, and this is only moderately exhausting. Okay, so if I do sparring, I think that probably sounds like the best idea. So I guess I will do that. And there is no limit to training with a coach. Because as you can see right here, this is basically exactly the same, apart from the fact that sparring is just better. But it may use more time. That's the question. Your reputation among soldiers is not high enough. Aha, so solo practice is what we're going to have to do first. Aha, so that's the reason why. Yeah, so your proficiency with melee weapons has increased, and as you can see, my fatigue has just gone crazy. So what else can we actually do here? We can do quests. What about camp activities? In the camp, you can spend your time to relax, relieve your stress, and hang out with other soldiers while performing various activities. All of them help relieve stress in their own way and by different amounts, so it would be wise to try all of them and see the results for yourself. In addition to that, the camp also serves as an important social hub where you can gather information and receive tasks from other characters. Right, so you can hang around, gamble, drink, pray, and you can also socialize with the sergeant, the earl, or the blacksmith. And I guess we're gonna just hang around. You spend some time hanging around and wandering around. Okay, and as you can see, my energy has gone a little bit down, but not that much. And we can pray. As you can see, that actually doesn't really do anything. And if we drink, you don't have any alcohol. If I gamble, luck wasn't on your side. I'm gonna gamble again. You won 2 florins. There we go. Okay, fantastic. Okay, so now, as you can see, we can actually... You lost 4 florins. Oh no. Okay, yeah, so we're gonna train again. We're gonna go to solo practice once more. And basically, this is how you're gonna spend your time. And in my opinion, I feel like this is seemingly pretty good. I'm gonna actually rest here, so let's socialize with the blacksmith a little bit. Who are you, and what do you need? I am looking for a blacksmith. Well, you found him, and he has his hands full. Now spit it out, or get lost, and don't distract me from work. I need to repair my equipment. I actually don't. Repair your equipment? I think you have it all mixed up, boy. Do I look like your personal blacksmith? Damn knights have already buried us up to our throats in their broken junk. We're all sweating our asses off, and here you come asking. I'm not asking you to help me for free. I'm willing to pay well for a job well done. Huh, what a smart ass. Well, for a job well done, I would gladly pay from my own pocket. It's a shame there's no one around who can actually do that. But let's make a deal. You do 3 shifts at the forge to help me out, and I'll take a look at your junk. I'll pay you for every shift too. If your hands aren't actually growing out of your ass, you might even earn some decent coin. Okay, so we've got a new quest. Working at the forge is a camp activity that acts as a temporary part-time job. Unlike other activities, this one increases your fatigue instead of lowering it. However, forge duty increases your craftsmanship and earns you some money, with the amount depending on your craftsmanship. Working at the forge has been added to your camp activities. Okay, so that's actually pretty fantastic. And as you can see, did I just restore all of my HP? I mean, my fatigue? No, I didn't. As you can see, it just disappeared for a moment there. Okay, so we can actually work at the forge, as you can see. I'm actually going to gamble a little bit more. There we go. I won 3 florins. Yes, flea. Yeah, there we go. I won another 3. That's actually wonderful. Okay, so let's socialize with the Earl now. You and the Earl have nothing to talk about at the moment. Okay, well, that's great. Yeah. Alright, so let's actually see, what else can I do? Let me actually just see here real quick. Okay, so my virtue is really low, actually, surprisingly enough. Praying or mortifying flesh will have a 20% chance to recover twice as much fatigue if I have 40 or more virtue. So technically, me having more virtue is a really good idea. Okay, I understand. Okay, so we actually have a talent point here. Oh, this is really interesting. Okay, so wait a second. Can I not do any of this because I have all these, never mind. Okay. Never mind, I just took that. Okay, that's actually not even bad, in my opinion. That's actually not even bad, because you know why? We can gamble now. And luck has been considerably increased. And this is a pretty amazing perk, actually. So let's actually do it again. Yeah, look at that. I won 2 florins. That's so funny. So I can basically do that almost all the time. So if I trade... Oh, no. Do I want to train again or no? No, I don't really want to do that. I want to work at the forge, actually. Earn 5 florins. That's really nice. Earn 5 florins. I'm going to say flive. I'm going to say flee, okay? Because florins... Ugh, come on now. Okay, yeah. Anyway, let's just do this. Another one, and another one. There we go. I can't do any more, so I can just gamble now, and we can just... We're losing money. We're losing money. No. Having spent a bit of time in the camp, you gradually get to know various people, including making friends with several other young men drafted for the militia. All of you have quite a lot in common, including the fact that, originating from poor families, you were forced to go to war without anything even remotely resembling decent weapons or armor. One of the guys going by the name Bartholomew, and having a rather shady past, suggests you fix this situation and presents you with a plan. His idea is to borrow the necessary equipment from someone who is not in such a dire need as you, the guards of Castle Dunkirk that is towering above your camp. According to Bartholomew, the guard, or shall we say the men guarding the castle, are guards in name only. They have been drafted from the surrounding countryside just as the war started, and they can barely tell which side of the halberd goes towards the enemy. Security is as bad as it gets, so sneaking into one of the armories in the far tower should be a piece of cake. Everything else we'll figure out on sight. Bartholomew claims he will take care of any locks we would encounter, so we just have to grab and carry away as much armor and weapons as we please. Several soldiers are rather impressed and willing to try. They already plan to pull it off this night. Bartholomew looks at you. Agree. I'm gonna agree to a lot of things because I think it's gonna be fun to see what actually happens. And now, from a realistic perspective, because this is a game and I am really interested to see just exactly what happens, I'm gonna go forward with these kinds of risky maneuvers. But from a realistic standpoint, I would not do this because this is too risky, in my opinion. But I mean, it depends. It depends on what the situation's like. As they've just explained, they have no proper weapons or armor, so how are they supposed to defend themselves in combat? Well, they're not. That's the answer to that. Anyway, you and several other soldiers are willing to take part. Bartholomew insists you don't dilly-dally and go at midnight. You agree to meet at the watchtower at midnight. Virtue lowered by 10. Reputation with the soldiers has increased by 3. And the new quest has been added. Castle Heist. You've just received your first quest. All active quests and their descriptions are listed in the Quests and Travel section. Okay, so quests and travel, here we go. Yeah, so, how do we actually do that? Ah, there we go, the watchtower. As agreed, you depart from the camp and arrive at the farthest watchtower at midnight. Bartholomew and a couple other soldiers are already waiting for you there. Bartholomew, clearly skilled in the local geography, confidently leads you along a hidden path through a ravine and dense thickets of bushes. After about a quarter of an hour this way, you finally let yourself into the tower through a secret entrance. Inside, Bartholomew once again instructs you, forbidding you to make any sounds and requiring you to move completely silently. Trying to find the weapons room in the endless maze of passages, doors, and stairs that represent the interior of the tower, you find yourself on the creaking plank floor of one of the galleries. One by one, your comrades manage to carefully walk on it without making any unnecessary sounds. It's your turn now. Gently stepping on the boards with the grace of a domestic cat, oh dear, we did it! You overcome the obstacle without any problems. Agility check. What? So I needed 1 agility to be able to do this. After another quarter of an hour of strenuous wanderings and games of hide and seek with sleepy guards, you finally manage to reach the cherished armory. While you and 2 comrades are watching the situation, Bartholomew is busy with the lock. You're starting to get worried, but a couple of minutes later he draws your attention with a low whistle and, smiling, invites you with a gesture to the now open door. The choice of weapons and equipment that awaits you inside turns out to be not very impressive, but it still looks very solid. Alright, so as you can see right here, we've got the spoils of war, and we're going to be taking all of this stuff. I have 0 inventory space according to this, so I'm actually not entirely sure what I can even do. It says I have 0 inventory space, so I'm gonna, I guess, this does 4 damage, this does 6 damage. Agility required is 2. I don't have 2 agility as far as I'm aware. This is actually pretty good. Okay, so how do I transfer this over? So if I discard this and take this, there we go. And what is this? What is this? Can be worn on top of armor, giving additional. Okay, this gives me neck. No, I've already got one of these, but I want the helmet. Actually, I want the helmet. Pouches can be used to store consumables and ammunition, making them accessible in battle. Item capacity 4. That's pretty useful. And this is also relatively useful because, as you can see, it actually gives me craftsmanship and coordination. So, technically... Okay, yeah, the canteen is really, really good too. I probably should have used this already, actually. But the helmet is going to be extremely useful for us, as you can see, because look at that. Look at what's going to happen here. This is going to give me an agility penalty, though. An agility penalty of 1. I'm actually not entirely sure if this is a good idea. You know what? I'm gonna take it. Yeah, I can't. Yeah, as you can see. I'm gonna have to discard the canteen here, and we're gonna take this. There we go. We can always sell the Iron Helm if we need to. Having picked up everything that you liked, you hastily embark on the return journey. Luck seems to be smiling at you, and the journey back goes without incident. But suddenly, in the dark corridor, one of the doors opens before your nose, and you find yourself face to face with a guard emerging from there. Hardly making out your outlines in the dark, he asks who is in front of him. You don't really know what to do. You don't really know what to do now, and glance at Bartholomew and his comrades, who have gone a little ahead. They are desperately signaling something to you with their hands, but you cannot distinguish their gestures in the dark. The situation quickly becomes critical. Okay, so try to stun the guard or run. It's probably going to be a good idea to just run. Pushing the guard away from you, you run with all your might, hoping to escape before he has time to overtake you. Somewhere behind your back, wild cries of a guard are heard, alerting everyone around you of your presence. As you wind through the twisted corridors, remembering your way back, the tower around you awakens. The silence and darkness that until recently filled its corridors and galleries is rapidly dissipating, giving way to the bright light of torches, loud voices, the clatter of feet, and the clang of weapons. For a while, you manage to stay ahead of your pursuers, but in one of the corridors, literally a couple of turns before the exit, you are overtaken. When they pounce on you, a chaos unfolds in which everyone turns out to be for himself. Luckily for you, Bartholomew manages to knock the torch out of the hands of one of the guards, diverting attention to himself and plunging the room into saving darkness. Sensing danger, the guards grab their swords, clearly intending to take you dead, not alive. Most of them were occupied by your comrades, and only one of the pursuers, focused on you, blocks the path to the exit. You stumble as you back away from his attack. The blade of his sword reaches you, leaving a shallow but painful wound, vitality lowered by 1. Jumping up from the floor, you run away. Carrying off your feet at the speed of a horse gallop, you manage to get out and make your way to the camp in a roundabout way. Still not believing in your miraculous escape, you fall asleep. In the morning, far from the most pleasant news awaits you. The whole camp is buzzing with rumors that this night a group of spies attacked the castle. No one knows what exactly they were trying to pull off. However, thanks to the vigilance of the guards, their dirty plans were thwarted. 2 bastards were hacked to death on the spot, while for resisting arrest, and another was captured alive. Now, according to rumors, he is sitting in one of the castle dungeons and soon will get executed. If lucky, everyone will be able to see it before dispatch. After such news, you can only shrug your shoulders. And the new quest has been added, Jailbird, which basically means we can actually get him out of there. One of the participants of the night heist ended up being caught by the guards and now is awaiting execution in a dungeon. If you are not indifferent to his fate, it may be worth to make an attempt at saving him. Before doing that, however, you have to find out where exactly the prisoner is being kept. Right. Very interesting indeed, is it not? Okay, so let's see. What about the sergeant here? Your squad is led by an old sergeant, a battered soldier who fought under the Earl during the King's ill-fated Scottish campaign. Despite his grumbling and an always dissatisfied look, the sergeant treats the soldiers very well and tries to make sure that everything is in order. You find him doing the usual, cleaning weapons. Noticing you, he looks up inquiringly. Okay, so we can ask him about the surviving thief, which is exactly what I'm going to do. I'm not sure that the fellow deserves such a fate, but you can hardly help him with anything. Now he is awaiting execution and will be very lucky if he simply gets his head chopped off, and not quartered or stretched out on a rack. I heard that he was put in the dungeon of the East Tower, the most impregnable in the entire castle. There is clearly no way out of there, even with his dexterity. However, they say that the valiant guards have beat him to a pulp on the first day. Won't be surprised if the poor lad has kicked the bucket already. Well, although this is clearly not a laughing matter, God rest his soul. Alright, so there you go. That's exactly what's going on there. And let's actually see what's going on with our equipment. He says, well, if you've managed to find yourself at war with your pants down, then you don't have many options. Take a look around the camp. Someone might have a spare gambeson or a chainmail or shield lying around. Most soldiers would be happy to sell their wares or trade loot for a shiny coin, but to find something useful among the junk is mostly a matter of luck, you know. Well, the second option, of course, is to loot it yourself. Scavenging corpses like a vulture isn't the most honourable act, but sometimes survival demands it. I try to make sure that my people are decently equipped, but I don't have time to wipe each and every one of your snotty noses, even if I wanted to. If you prove yourself a decent lad, then I'll see what I can do for you. Alright, so thanks very much. Okay, so I basically will just leave that alone now, and we can actually do some crafting here. I have no crafting things to be able to craft alchemy or sewing. We don't have any of this. Can't craft any of these. We can do crafting armor. So if I do something like this, okay, so basically it allows you to combine items. Okay, so we can actually do this. So if I have a sewing kit. Okay, a sewing kit. So that means a physician is probably going to be required. I have no injuries. What about the trade? Yeah, so I have no inventory space at all, which is really, really bad. I think, is there a way for me to sell my iron helmet? Because I wouldn't mind getting the... wait a minute. Okay, wait a minute. That's actually not gonna help. So wait a minute. Is there a way? Is there another... there's a trade person here. Searching for a valuable trade offers will consume some of your time and produce several options. You can perform this action multiple times to find more items for sale. Right. So this is going to be really, really good for us, because what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to sell this. There we go. It's going to give me 126, which is pretty good, actually, all things considered. And let's have a look-see here. Okay, so look, as you can see, a commoner's belt is actually pretty good. It gives me insane amounts of strength. I don't know whether this is actually good. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but it seems good to me. There's also the sewing kit. Okay, so I'm going to buy the commoner's belt, and I'm probably going to get rid of the poor man's pouch. Store consumables and ammunition, making them accessible in battle. I'm going to just sell that. And we're going to get the sewing kit. It's only 10. I mean, it's quite funny because this... I don't know. Is this actually worth it? I guess it is kind of worth it, right? I mean, I personally feel like all of this is worth it, but I don't actually have... well, pretty much anything to do, and my inventory is so limited. I don't know. Is there something that I can do about that? Can I increase my inventory capacity? Is there some way for me to do that, actually? Because I'm wondering. Huh. Wait a minute. Maybe there is a way for me to do that. Maybe... no, these are all locked, so that's not going to make any difference. So I was wondering if there is a way for me to do it, but apparently not. I can train here if I want to. So I need to actually increase my strength. Is there a way that I can actually increase strength? This just increases melee skill. Is there no way for me to do this? Oh, wait, no. Hello. Oh, I can actually... oh, wow, I'm an idiot. Okay, I did not realize that you could actually click on these things as well. These are moderately exhausting, as you can see. This is absolutely fantastic. So, fatigue recovery is something that I really badly quite want. So, yeah, I didn't even realize that that was the case. Okay, that's absolutely fine. We're just going to lose a couple of florins here. That's okay. I don't really mind. There we go. And we're just going to get back up all the way to what we need. And yeah, as you can see, look at this. Coordination, vitality, increases maximum HP. This is all lightly exhausting and everything, but look at this. Look at how fantastic this is actually going to be now. Me being able to increase this dramatically is so powerful for us. Okay, so let's go back here. We're going to just gamble a little bit. And the story event is going to transpire in just a moment. I'm losing all of my... don't have any time left. Yeah, I'm losing all my money for some reason. Yeah, I wish I had luck on my side at this point. Anyway, you cannot enter battle without a weapon equipped. I do have a weapon though. Why do I not have a weapon equipped? Hello. I did not realize that you could do this. Aha, there you go. I actually needed to go to my inventory and equip things. I didn't realize, otherwise I wouldn't have sold my helmet. Yes, I wouldn't have sold my helmet then. This would have made all the sense in the world. Okay. Never mind. They don't tell you. You know, they don't tell you. They don't hold your hand about it. So, yeah, that's absolutely fine. I don't have a problem with that. All right, let's do it. I've learned it now, right? So it should be fine. After spending about a week at Castle Dunkirk, the army eventually begins its march to the southwest. Your regiment has been assigned to the advanced guard led by the King's son, Edward of Woodstock, the Prince. With about half a day's march separating him from the main force, Edward's main goal is to scout ahead and make sure there are no major French reinforcements in sight. Arriving at Cambrai, you see a large French convoy with supplies that is entering through the main gates. The town obviously has not been prepared to handle a long siege yet and stands vulnerable. The young prince, eager to prove himself to his father, chooses a daring move to try and take the city by charging through the yet open gates. Time is of the essence, so Edward leads the attack immediately. Alright, here we go. Okay, so I could potentially save here. Do I want to save? I guess so. I'm not entirely sure if that's going to make any difference, to be honest, but yeah, my character is fully prepared. There is no reason for me to do anything else. As you can see, my strength is actually pretty decent. Damage done by strength-based attacks, resistance to stuns, your chances to stun, damage done to armor, heaviness of inflicted injuries, and so on and so forth. That sounds pretty good to me, actually, so I'm pretty happy with this. And as you can see, my fatigue is actually not even terribly bad, so I'm quite happy with it. Let's go. Concealed by the forest surrounding Cambrai, the English managed to get close enough to catch the defenders by surprise. The prince spearheads the cavalry charge forward, crushing everything under them and breaking into the city. You and your fellow militiamen try to follow in their tracks as fast as you can, but the difference in speed is just too great. By the time you have finally got to the gates, there is already a large group of enemy soldiers, guards, and militiamen gathering to block your way. Alright, so this is where we actually get into the combat of the game. Very soon you will have to shed your first blood, but before you do this, it would be wise to get acquainted with the main principles of Heads Will Roll's combat system. Do you want a tutorial? Yes, I do. Alright, okay. This is relatively self-explanatory, but, you know, it's going to be good to know either way what's actually going on here. This button is responsible for attacking with your main weapon. Upon clicking it, you will have to select a target to attack, a particular move to use, and lastly, a part of the enemy's body to target. Very interesting. Detailed information about various strikes and their properties can be viewed by hovering over their respective items. So as you can see here, increases your chance to hit enemies with longer weapons, the greater your reach. Disadvantage gets, the higher bonus you receive, and so on. When selecting a body part to attack, hovering over the dice symbols will give you detailed information about the potential damage, as well as any additional effects of your strike. So as you can see, you can target the limbs, body, head, neck, and then you get damage multipliers and so on, and you have the percentage chances of whether you're going to hit, I suppose. Another element that influences the hit probability is the current amount of stamina of the defending party. The higher it is, the higher is the chance to dodge an attack. This only applies to the defending party. The attacker's stamina amount does not influence the hit probability. Feint. This button allows you to execute a feint with your main weapon. A feint is a deceptive mood, yes, move that distracts your opponent. A successful feint will drain some of the target's stamina while applying an attack accuracy debuff that lasts for one turn. The success of the feint also depends on the character's parameters. There are several types of feint, all of which operate in different ways and prioritize different stats. You can read more about them in their descriptions. And then we have stances. This button is responsible for changing stances. Overall, there are 3: offensive, defensive, and balanced. Offensive gives you additional hit chance bonus in melee combat, but lowers your defensive capabilities. The bonus that this stance provides increases with your weapon skill. This stance also makes you susceptible to enemy feints. Defensive stance works in the opposite way. It increases your defensive capabilities, both dodge chance and shield block chance, but lowers your hit chance. The evasion bonus that it provides scales with your agility, but the shield block chance always remains a flat value. Compared to offensive stance, this stance provides slightly higher resistance to enemy feints. And the balanced stance is a middle ground between the two. It gives no attack or defense bonuses, but also applies no penalties of any kind. This stance also offers the best protection against enemy feints. And this action allows you to recover stamina. The amount of stamina recovered depends on the character's coordination. I have 0 coordination basically, so this is going to be hilarious. Information about your enemies will be located in the upper right part of the screen. Click their icons to see this information, and that about sums it up. Don't forget that your main task is to survive, and good luck in battle. So there's this guy right here. Okay, so we're going to basically, we're in balance stance right now. We could be... Yeah, you know what? I'm just going to do an imbalance. How much do I have available here? Okay, overhead strike, batter. Drains enemy stamina and builds up fatigue. Debuff is equal to 1/3 of your strength, +5. That's actually really, really powerful then. Deals no attack damage, but it has a high chance of inflicting an injury. Fully blocked by armor, 30%. Partially blocked, not blocked. Okay, I'm going to do batter. Limbs, head, body. Going to go for body, I guess. Yeah. Nice. Nice, we did some damage. Alright, he's gonna go for a sword slash. He actually missed. He actually missed. Can you believe it? All offensive and defensive actions will increase your fatigue level by an amount equal to the stamina spent on that action. There are 5 levels of fatigue: fresh, winded, tired, on last legs, and exhausted. To progress from one level to the next, you have to deplete 1 full stamina bar. The higher your maximum stamina, the slower your fatigue progresses. The first fatigue level does not apply any penalties, but the next levels apply increasingly severe ones. Fatigue penalties lower the accuracy of all your offensive actions, as well as your chance to dodge enemy attacks. Please note that physical exhaustion can easily undermine any advantages that a character might possess in equipment and skills. A man who can barely move his feet will not perform well in combat against fresh opponents. And we have Respite here. This button is responsible for lowering your fatigue level in combat. The general principles of Respite are similar to those of Recover, and the amount of recovered fatigue also depends on your coordination. Alright, so what is my current stamina? I'm winded at the moment. Or shall I say my current fatigue? I'm winded at this time. So let's... I'm going to attack again. And we're going to do an overhead strike. And let's hit his head. Oh, we actually hit him. Can you believe it? He's actually recovering some of his stamina. That's kind of weird. Alright, so I'm going to use Respite now. Or should I? Should I just kill him? Or I don't know whether he's going to die from bleeding. I'm going to go into defensive stance and we're going to do Respite. Did that actually help me at all? Feels like it doesn't help me at all. But yeah, this guy is literally just going to die super, super easily. Yeah, this doesn't really help. Respite gives me -4 fatigue. That's kind of hilarious, but there you go. We were able to achieve victory, and now we have another opponent. This is indeed a fresh opponent, so this is very difficult. Okay, I'm just going to recover, because we're going to need to. He's going to miss. That's fine. We're going to go for... I think I'll probably go for offensive... Actually, yeah, go for offensive stance, I guess. And we'll go for... we'll go for batter again, I think, and we'll go for a 100% to body. I think is probably best for me right now. Okay, he's recovering for some reason. Okay, yeah, let's go defensive stance, and we're just gonna recover. Probably gonna have to do that again. I'm winded too at the moment. Maybe that's not too bad. Just recovering a whole bunch. I might go for a big attack here. He actually failed to recover that much. Okay, so we'll go for an offensive stance here, and we'll go for Bone Crusher. I'm literally just going to go for Bone Crusher here. Okay, arm muscles cut. Does that mean he can actually not do anything now? Weapon skill reduced by 4. He shouldn't have been able to hit me there, in my opinion, but oh well, never mind. I guess that's just how it goes. Alright, we've got to be very careful here. So he's winded now. I am tired 3, actually, so this is really bad. I guess the longer that we spend attacking, the worse that it's going to get. I'm going to batter him again. Let's go for a body hit. Okay, we actually critically struck him as well, which is very nice. Okay, I believe that... You know what? I'll just recover once again. I am really worried about my fatigue right now. I need more coordination. I am such an imbecile. I did not realize that that was the case. They don't tell you. So maybe I'm not so much of an imbecile. I don't know. But they don't tell you that that is something that you might want to go for. I actually fractured that guy's ribcage. Wow, that's kind of harsh. All right, so there you go. Unable to sustain your attack, the enemies are slowly giving in and soon begin a hasty retreat. With a pause in the action, you take a look around and see several bodies of your dead foes. Looting, especially during active combat, is generally frowned upon in the army. This, however, does not deter many soldiers, predominantly from poorer backgrounds, from pillaging their rivals' corpses. Their motives are easy to understand. In war, even a single piece of good equipment can make the difference between life and death. Alright, so a small pause in the fighting allows you to loot that, or you can use your time to catch your breath and recover some fatigue. I'm actually gonna recover some fatigue, all things considered. That's what I'm gonna do. Okay, because my fatigue was really, really high, and I personally would like to make sure that we are gonna be, you know, ready for battle. I think being ready for battle is so much more important. As you can see, my coordination is just terrible, though. That's the main thing that we're really having a huge problem with now. Yeah. By the way, you can actually marry people in this game, and there is actually a bunch of DLC. There is actually a new DLC that just came out, and it's something that I think I might pick up if I like playing the game. I did pick up another one of the DLCs, which allows you to get married. By the base game, you're not allowed to get married initially, but you can after that, and you can form relationships with characters and so on and so forth. I guess I will save. I don't know. I don't know whether that makes any difference, but let's proceed. Due to the confusion, you manage to overcome the poorly organized defenders in a swift and rather hectic fight. Their tactical retreat into the walls quickly escalates to a chaotic rout. You storm into the town proper, hot on their heels. Inside the walls, however, the situation is already changing. The prince's knights are struggling to hold against the superior numbers of the French, and slowly but surely are falling back towards the main gates. The prince could definitely use some infantry support, but rushing to his aid may prove to be a dangerous undertaking. Not willing to leave Prince Edward in danger, the Earl quickly calls for volunteers to join the rescue effort. The rest are told to hold the city gates for a safe retreat thereafter. It seems only seasoned and fierce warriors are joining the Earl. It's unlikely someone will point a finger at you if you refuse. Especially given that you are wounded and exhausted, barely able to even stand straight. This is clearly a good opportunity to prove yourself to the Earl, maybe even to the Prince himself, but right now on the other side of the scale lies no less than your own life. And the question is whether or not this is the time to risk it. Do you want to go with the Earl? Yes. Driven by courage and some impulsive honor, you join the daredevils attempting to rescue the Prince and his retinue. Many of your fellow militiamen are openly surprised by your bold move. The Earl, his first time noticing you since the start of the campaign, also seems impressed. Reputation with the Earl has increased by 7 and with the soldiers by 5. Several other soldiers follow your example and join the group, obviously wanting to keep up. Drawing his sword, the Earl himself leads you into an attack through a narrow street toward the Prince and his men, who are practically surrounded in the town square nearby. You soon find your path blocked by well-armed soldiers from the town garrison, clearly trying to cut off the Prince's party from reinforcements. And here we go. Alright, this guy is much more difficult than the previous one, and as you can see, we are indeed fresh now. So this is fantastic. So I will go for offensive. You know what? I'm going to go for balance. I don't want to lose too much HP, right? So we're going to go for balance right here. And then we're just going to attack. This guy is actually a proper footman as well, so I'm a bit worried. We're going to just go for batter here, in my opinion, and we're going to go for the body. Okay, nice. Did we actually critically hit him? No, I think that was just... Oh, yeah, he tried to feint me right there. Okay, that's absolutely fine. Don't worry about that, sir. All right, so we could go for... Oh, head. Let's attack him. Nice. Yes, he got stunned. He's stunned. That's absolutely perfect. Okay, here we go. So he got stunned, so that means he's obviously going to attack me next turn once again. But I'm going to try to finish him off now with a neck hit. Boom. Nice. He's almost dead. He's recovering. That's fine. I need to recover as well. I was actually hoping to inflict some kind of injury on the guy, but unfortunately he's probably going to be able to... Oh, no. He didn't actually hit me. Okay, that's good. Let's see how we're doing here. I'm still fresh. That's pretty good. Okay, I'm just taking the opportunity to recover as much as I possibly can, and then we're going to be able to attack him. He's obviously going to have to recover a huge amount too, because he also needs stamina, of course. So we're just going to hit him in the head once more, and now he's gone. He's out of there. Of course, now I critically strike, right? Now I'm going to... No, of course, I'm going to do that. Okay, so we're getting reputation with the Earl and everything. And, whoa, there we go. Okay, so I can loot the bodies, or I can recover 52 fatigue. I'm not sure what we want to do. I'm going to loot. Ooh, a page's sword. That's pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty decent, isn't it? I think that might be pretty decent. I don't know. Anyway, the wine bottle right here. What does this do? Consuming alcohol is a good way to relieve stress and fatigue. The latter, however, might bring along some side effects if you do it outside of battle. Can be drunk in camp for massive fatigue relief. Instantly recovers 30 fatigue in battle, and it lowers the duration of bleeding and light poisoning by 1. And it temporarily boosts vitality by 2. Not bad, not bad. Okay. You and the Earl arrive just in time to prevent the French from encircling the prince's retinue. Bloodied and tired, the prince immediately gives the order for a full retreat, which fortunately goes without incident. The battered town defenders hesitate to give chase, and instead settle with the status quo restored. As you fall back to safety and catch your breath, you're slowly filled with the proud realization that you've just managed to survive your first battle. While you come back to your senses and tend your wounds, the main force of the English army is steadily approaching the city. Columns of people, horsemen, and wagons, all stretching for several miles, flow from the horizon like an endless river, slowly pouring around the city from all sides. Having found the sergeant among the survivors, you ask him what will happen now. He responds with only one word: siege. And here we go, a siege of Cambrai. Cambrai? Either one. Over the next few days, you watch as a new, fully fledged city gradually grows all around the walls of Cambrai. Thousands of people, hundreds of tents and awnings, dozens of various siege and assault weapons, and long lines of convoys arrive every day from almost all directions. You would not dare to call all this a mere camp any longer. According to the sergeant, who is constantly aware of the goings-on, the king will not delay the siege. The success of the entire campaign depends on the speed of this attack, and any further delay will give the French a chance to thoroughly gather their strength. This is why the usual siege tactic, winning the city through a war of attrition, is not going to fly with Cambrai. The sergeant says the assault should take place in about a week, when the siege engines are fully deployed, and the rest of the reinforcements have caught up with the army. For now, all you can do is take advantage of what peaceful days remain. You have received a salary in accordance with your rank, 65 florins and 11 extra florins according to our prestige. Very nice indeed. And I am super excited to see exactly what happens, but you know what we're going to do? I'm going to end this episode off here. If you want to see more from Heads Will Roll Reforged, then by all means let me know. I'm very happy to play some more. I think it sounds like a lot of fun. But if you don't, then that's absolutely fine. If you want to check out the game yourself, there is a link in the description. It's currently on sale, as I say. I don't know how long left it has until the sale ends, but, you know, it's relatively cheap anyway, I suppose. But, you know, it's 50% off right now, so I thought I'd pick it up, you know. Sounds pretty good, and it's actually very fun. Anyway, I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.